going the wrong way.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Davis.
Here.
Parker.
Here.
Schneider.
Here.
Stoops.
Here.
Wilson.
Here.
Dukasar. Here. Dukas
Here.
Non-agenda items from the sideline. Laura, you have something you want to discuss?
Yes.
You have 5 minutes.
It's in regards to our assessment on our house and overpayment of property taxes for the last 2 years. This started back in January, and it was finally brought before the Board of Review in July. We were just kind of wondering how long it would take for the reimbursement and how long it would take for the corrections on our assessment to get corrected.
Jamie, can you answer that?
Well, two parts. First off, the issue in handling it at the July board, even though it was brought up in January, is because we were dealing in the 2014 year. So to go back in time, we had to do that through the July board of review, which is the proper avenue for the previous year assessment. So that's the first part of the delay. In doing that, I made a mistake, and I didn't completely process it. We processed it because there was an error, typo in taking off the principal residence when the name was changed from an individual to a trust. So we deleted the exemption that they were getting for the principal residence. We put that back on in July, but in talking to Mr. Pammett about the situation back in the early spring, I realized that there was also a calculation error in the property. So we went back and we recalculated the property, but it didn't get put on at the July board. So that part of it will come in the December board, because that's the next time that we can make a correction for a clerical error. I apologize, and I apologize again to the Pammets in that it wasn't corrected properly the first time in July. I can only wait until the next opportunity, and that'll be in December, at the Board of Review in December. The paperwork's been sent to the county, and then the county processes it, and they issue the refunds from the county. So the good news is it's not all of the individual taxing jurisdictions. In December, it'll all come through the county. These school operating funds will come through the county treasurer's office. And what I will try to do is I will contact them tomorrow and see where they stand, and I will make sure that I get back to you tomorrow. If I can have you leave your number. I had it before in my voicemail, but I didn't want to hold on to all those numbers. So if I can get that from you, I will contact you tomorrow and let you know where they think they stand. Depending on the year, it can go, it can be into October. Usually I would tell people mid-September, but it might be into October before they issue the refund. So that should be coming shortly. You did get a copy of the email that I sent your husband with the recalculation?
Yes.
And you were able to send that to the mortgage company to help them reestablish the escrow?
Yes and no. I brought it back because our last name was spelled wrong.
It was on the tax bill, but it's been corrected in the system.
Okay.
Yeah, that was corrected back when your husband brought it up before.
Okay, because in the email you sent us, our last name was still spelled wrong.
In the attachments from the tax bill, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it is correct in there now. And I apologize, and I appreciate your patience.
And the phone number's on here, 392-5021.
Yes.
Okay. The phone, yeah.
Very good. I'll get that from you.
Okay, all right. Ted?
About a year ago, we approached the board, the American Legion, about 4 years ago, put in the paperwork to get a piece of equipment to display in the front yard. Well, they finally got back with us. There's a piece available in Kingston that we have to go get. But I can show you what it is. I just want to make sure that what we're doing, what we have to do, if there's anything else We do have to put a, does it work? No.
I don't want it.
It's actually been deactivated. It's been in Kingston for years, but we still have to have the National Guard check it out to make sure they didn't do anything to it.
Now, where are you gonna display this?
Well, it's gonna go in our front yard,
Uh-huh.
just about halfway in the middle, right in the middle of the front yard.
Okay.
We have to construct a cement pad, so I don't know if we have to get a permit for that or not. It's military specifications, it's right here, has to be 6 inches thick with sand under it, a certain size. So I don't know if we need a permit for that or not, that's accurate under.
I don't know. We'll check with our
Okay.
building inspector, and I think we'll let you know then.
Okay.
You probably, I don't know, you probably will, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we're getting donations in to do the pad, and we want to do that as quickly as possible, because we want to have this done before winter.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're not gonna start tomorrow, but within the next month, we're gonna do it.
Yeah, okay. All right, do you need these back, or do you want, you probably do.
Yes, I do.
Okay, all right, give this back to you, and I think then, check with the building inspector. Is that it, Ted?
Yep, thank you.
Okay, all right. Comments from the city administration, Donna? Bart?
I don't believe so.
Okay, Chief?
Just a heads up, next week, we're gonna be starting something, we kind of put something together called, what we're loosely calling it Coffee with the Chief. We're gonna have it at Donut Girls from like 9 till about 10:30. Just opening up lines of communication with citizens or anybody that wants to stop in. Just stop in, have a cup of coffee, I'll buy a dozen donuts or so. And if anybody has anything they want to say or talk about, any concerns, questions, remarks, or anything, we'll be there for about an hour, hour and a half. If
Okay, so it's
somebody
a
has-
communication type thing?
Yes.
And you said from 9 to when?
9 till about 10:30.
And when, what?
It'll be Friday,
On Fridays?
the 25th will be the first one. And we had some people over at Donut Girls, they said, you know, well, what about the people that have to work during the days? If we get a good turnout, if it looks good, what I was thinking is possibly maybe do it on a Tuesday before the council meetings. I'm gonna be around anyway, and maybe talk to the folks over at Mom's Kitchen, see if we can maybe do it there from 5 till about 6:30 or so.
Okay, all right. Sounds good. Anything else, Chief?
No, welcome, if anybody wants to come by, more than welcome. I'd love to have you.
Okay. Jamie, I think you have something on the, that you want to discuss on this, procedures for,
I wanted to introduce policy and procedures for public inspection and copying of public records. And in our audit from the State Tax Commission, one of the shortcomings they found was they didn't feel that we had completely identified the availability of our public documents, even though it does show on the website that we're open full-time. So regardless, we want to satisfy the state, and I'm asking that you adopt the policy and procedures. This is a cut and paste from the State Tax Commission's website and what they're looking for. I have no objections to them. It basically outlines what we already do.
okay, just certain issues that, you know, respond to those issues, and this protocol, then should address that, and then you'll, after we approve it, you'll forward it to them.
I will forward it to the state. I did indicate to the state in our answer on the audit for the things that we were deficient, that we would be bringing it to this meeting to adopt it as part of our policy statement.
Okay. Any questions you want to ask Jamie? If not, I'll entertain them. Go ahead.
I do have a question as far as just about the time that, I mean, maybe we should make it until 4 o'clock, because the city office closes at 4:30, right?
Well, it just mirrors the times that, if somebody walked in at 4:25, we wouldn't deny them seeing a document anyways. The state would probably, we wouldn't want to say that it would be till 4 if we were open till 4:30, because we wouldn't deny somebody seeing it anyways. This is a common sense, but it mirrors our hours. I
So
don't
if I
see.
showed up at 4:29 and I needed you to find me 15 separate pages, we'd all have to stay over.
No, you probably,
Have to have it come
if I
back.
were there under those circumstances and I had something to do, I'd say, we'll be open tomorrow morning, or, you know what, leave me a list, and when you come back in the morning, I'll have it ready for you, or I'll give you a call. One of the things that's always been true is the people that have worked here have always been accommodating to the public. So
Right.
I don't see that ever being anything different. This is just a more formal policy statement, and I'm sure it'll satisfy the state since it's their recommendation.
Number 10 says 9 to 5.
Oh, yes,
We'll close
duly
at
noted.
4:30.
That'll be, to be corrected.
Okay. I was just thinking maybe make it 4:15 then, or something like that, just to give yourself a few minutes.
Whatever the pleasure of the
Just a
board.
suggestion.
I don't see any problem with 4:15 either, so
If somebody wanted to make a motion on that.
we'll change it to 4:15, and just change it to 4:15, and then I entertain a motion to adopt
Okay.
the,
Does number 10 have to be changed too? So
number-
9 to 5 or?
Yes.
Yeah, number
Oh,
10,
thank
yeah,
you.
it'll have to.
That should be 8 to 4:15 also?
Right, yeah. Okay, I entertain a motion to approve the protocol for, on these procedures.
So just so we're clear, we're making it 8:30 till 4:15?
Right.
I'll make that motion.
Where'd you get 8:30?
Well, because the office doesn't open till 8:30,
Yeah,
right?
Eight.
It says.
Oh, I'm
8.
sorry, sometimes I thought it was 8:30.
no, okay,
So number 10 says 9, and on top it says 8, so we're gonna go with the
8 to 4:15, I know,
on both.
yes.
I'll still make that motion.
Support. Right.
Parker?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Stutes?
Yes.
Wilson?
yes.
Superstar?
Yes.
Lucas W?
Yeah.
Davis?
Yes.
Dave,
Senior night's going good. Next one's in October, second week in October, and your Halloween one. I'm getting bands together for next summer's Town by the River. So, and that's all I have.
okay.
Tonight.
Is there gonna be another Halloween, in the, behind the youth center again this
I
year?
have no idea.
Not this year, no.
Doesn't look like
It
it.
doesn't look like it, but I'm.
Yeah, great job this summer with the concerts, David.
Nice.
I know you had a lot of time invested in it. Great job.
Okay, adoption or amendment of the agenda, I believe there's one amendment.
Yes, under new business number 4, I want to put in 2015 resolution number R15-140.
Can I have a motion then to adopt the agenda as amended?
Make that amendment.
The motion to adopt the amendment as agenda.
Or,
Schneider?
Yes.
Stutes?
yes.
Wilson?
Yeah,
Superstar?
Yes.
Lucas W?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
okay, the next one is the approval of the regular minute meetings of September the 1st, 2015.
There has to be a correction in there.
Okay.
Under new business, number 2, fire department,
Should be, yeah, should be.
950, distance that it was.
Yeah, it was 950.
And I put 300.
Yeah, I circled that and I didn't go and see you on it, but I did circle. Okay. Okay, then can I have a motion then to adopt the meetings with the amendment?
I'll make that motion to accept the minutes as amended.
Support.
Stutes?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Superstar?
Yes.
Lucas W?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Paul, you're on.
Okay. I think everybody got a copy of your audit report in your packet, hopefully. As you know, you contract with our firm each year to do an audit of your financial statements. I'll briefly go through it. Everything went very well in your audit. We came out and spent about a week with your staff. They're very cooperative with us. They provide us everything, and we do appreciate that. If you turn in just past the table of contents, it says page 1 at the bottom. It says Stewart, Delay, and Whipple on the letterhead at the top. Technically, this is the only portion of the report that belongs to our firm, and you have what they call an unmodified or clean opinion. That's what you're striving for. Once we've done the audit and you approve it tomorrow, we'll send it over to the Michigan Department of Treasury, and that's what they're hoping for, is what they call unmodified or a clean opinion. And it basically means everything is presented in accordance with general accepted accounting principles. If you turn to the next, there's like Page 3, we're not going to spend a lot of time with this, but for the next couple of pages, there's something called the Management Discussions and Analysis Letter. It's just a very summary report that kind of gives the reader a little bit of overview about the city finances and how the funds are put together. We're going to talk a little bit more detailed in this letter, but it is required to get that clean opinion, so I just point that out. On page 8, there's basically two sets of financial statements in your audit packet. The first, page 8, is what they call the entity-wide financial statement, or it's similar to a commercial entity. And it includes all the assets, liabilities, and equity of the city, including the value of your buildings, the value of your water and sewer lines, and so forth. This is a commercial way of looking at it. Again, if you were at the bottom right-hand corner, if you were a corporation, you'd be worth about $4.3 million book value. We're going to talk more the traditional way governments have always reported. If you turn over to page 11. Page 11 starts what they call the balance sheet, or a snapshot of the city of Memphis as of June 30th, 2015. The first column is your general fund. You'll see your cash of $155,806. Investments, which basically are certificates of deposit of $510,091. Some accounts receivable, money that's due the city as of that date of $13,687. Due from other governmental units of $45,000 for total assets of $724,609. Your liabilities, just bills that you owe and accrued payroll, total of $44,430, which left a fund balance as of June 30th, 2015 of $680,179. There's a portion of that is restricted for the salvage value. As you know, you collect salvage revenue and it can only be used for certain police services, and that's $41,593. So when you take that out, you have what they call an unassigned fund balance in your general fund of $638,586. The next column to it is your major street fund. We'll just talk about the fund balance. Your fund balance as of the end of the year was $320,945, and that's your carry forward into the current year. And your local street fund was $114,483. The other column there, other governmental funds of $169,125, is all your capital equipment funds, and they're detailed in the back, and I'll point it out in a few minutes. But in total, all your equipment funds had a total of $169,125. If we turn over to page 13, page 13 is what they call the statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance, or the operating statement. It lists your general fund revenue. You'll see your taxes of $330,000, your state share revenues of $160,000, charges for services of $391,000, total revenues of $961,876. It then lists your expenditures. Amount that you spent by major category: general government, public safety, public works. Total expenses for the year $880,262. So before you transferred money, you were $81,614 to the good. You sold some equipment, fire truck of $45,000. You transferred in $36,000 from your equipment funds, $36,538, and then you transferred out some to the major street and some to the equipment fund of $150. All said and done, for the year you were $12,296 to the positive. So bottom line, for the year ended June 30th, 2015, you were $12,296 to the positive in your general fund. The next column is your major street fund. If you look across them at $12,000, your major street fund was $42,435 positive. As you know, in the street funds, a lot of times you build funds up so that you can do projects, so it's not unusual to have revenues over expenditures in any year. And your local street actually had expenses over revenues of $7,897. And then again, you put $63,000 in your equipment funds there for all your equipment funds. If you turn back to page 36, it just gives you a breakdown of your equipment funds. I'll give you a second to get there. 36 just shows the operating statement for each of your equipment funds. You can see the police equipment and replacement fund only had $5 of interest. Your fire is where most of the activity took place. There you can see they were to you transferred in 96,000, you transferred out 36,000, so you added to their equipment of 60,000. The clerk treasurer added 2611 there, and then the library was yet added $1. That is a real quick synopsis of the numbers of your financial statement. One thing I didn't do, I'm sorry. If we turn back to page 16, almost forgot it. Your water and sewer fund. As you know, you provide water and sewer services. Starts out with your operating revenues. Total operating revenues for the year are $283,989. Then list your operating expenses, wages, supplies, so forth. Total expenses are $310,378. And if you look just above that, that includes depreciation, which is really a paper number. It's a wear and tear on the system that when you put a sewer or water line in, you don't expense it, you depreciate so much each year. So if you added that back, without that, you had expenses over revenues of $26,389. But if you add that back, you have about $18,000 to the good. So that's probably the number to focus on. So your water and sewer fund seems to be operating the way it should be. Now, that's a real quick synopsis of pretty much all the numbers. It goes on, the report is, you know, is about 36 pages. When we get done doing it, we pull it all together, then we come out and meet with the mayor and Don and spend about 2 or 3 hours going through each page by page and going through all the numbers and discussing a lot of different things. There's also a couple letters attached. Not only do we audit the numbers, but we take a look at your process, and if we become aware of any weaknesses in your system, we're required to communicate it. The first letter is the independent auditor's report. This is really the formal letter. And really, you don't have any what we call significant or material weaknesses. You have one, it's a technicality. You hire us to help you draft your financial statements. The accounting standards say everybody should have somebody on staff to be able to do it. Well, that's not feasible for the clients that we deal with. I mean, accounting standards are designed for, you know, the General Motors of the world all the way down to the little gas station. So that's what you contract with us. Other than that, we didn't find any weaknesses in your system. The second letter there is called the audit communication letter. Just because we're not required to come to a meeting like this, we appreciate the opportunity to answer any questions for you. But if we had any problems, we had to document in this letter. As I indicated, there was no problems or anything when you read through here. We also, at the very left back, there's a few things that we discussed during our exit conference that we just attach here, and that's attachment A. There's like 3 or 4 things that we kind of recommendations, small things that we'd like you to consider and possibly work on in the coming years. I'll be happy to go through any numbers, any of the letters, or anything you have any questions on.
You know, the last 3 items on attachment A, we're addressing those issues, so anyone wants to talk to me about it, I'm glad to.
I have a question about the water fund, actually, page 16.
Okay.
So I noticed that, I know you said that the $44,000 of depreciation, I see that our net position at the beginning of the year is, well, went down over the course of the year, $13,000. So we could, that $44,000 affected that, right?
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, if you look at the percentage of how much it costs us to operate for a year and the size of our water system, are we putting enough money away for?
That's a real difficult question, because, you know, I'm not an engineer of what it takes to do. You know, really, you only got a couple $100,000 set away. So I would say, I'd probably answer that question really no, because you don't have it. But a lot of water, I do a lot of water and sewer study for municipal clients, and when you put a water and sewer system in, a lot of times you have to bond, and the people that are paying for those are paying for the current system, so it's very difficult for them to pay for a future system. Depreciation's, the philosophy behind depreciation is if you're a business, when the asset wears out, you should have enough money on hand to pay for a new one. But the problem with that is when you put a system in and you sell bond issues to do it, the current user is not only paying for the current system, they try to charge it for depreciation, they're paying for the current one plus a future one. You don't have any bond issues anymore. Yours just expired about a year or so ago, but you were in that situation for a period of time. Now you might, you know, it wouldn't hurt if you possibly could, to start putting more money away But it is difficult, I understand that.
Is there like a number that is normally used for, say, if it costs you $300,000 a year, that you should be putting away a certain percentage, or you should be growing your fund balance by a certain number?
Not really, there isn't. What I suggest is you probably should, meet with your DPW people and your engineer and come up more with a capital replacement plan. And when I do water and sewer rate studies for clients, municipal clients, that's usually how I start and say, okay, what do we need in the next year? What do we need in the next 5 years? And what's the estimated cost? And then we build it into the rate structure based on when it's got to be replaced versus, percentage here and there. I know I'm not answering your question.
No, I know.
But that's basically how I usually do it when I do a rate. We'll look at a municipal rate and try to figure out, okay, what do we need in 1 or 2 years, what do we need in 5 years, and what do we need in 10? And what's your intentions of paying, how do you plan on paying for it? Are we gonna bond issue for it? Are we gonna borrow the money and pay it through a debt retirement or so forth? And then we build that into your rate structure.
Yeah, when the bond issue was paid off, we did evaluate that, and we raised the rates correspondingly. And when we did the figures, actually, we thought we had enough in there to cover the depreciation, so it would balance out with the depreciation, because depreciation, though, was a non-cash expense and so on. But I think part of the problem is we had kind of a wet season this year, and I don't think we used as much water, and therefore the revenue part went down. So we'll look at that.
Yeah, and you usually do monitor that very closely, and that's a good point. The problem with, the municipal systems also is if you have a wet year, you don't, people do not use as much water to water their lawns to do everything, so some years you do. That's about 3 to 4% of your total expenses, or that bottom $12,000, so it isn't really out of whack.
Plus, over time, people are getting more efficient, whether it's toilets or
Absolutely.
dishwashers or whatever it might be.
It's amazing over the years how, I've done rate studies for 25 years for municipalities, and really the volume of water used goes down all the time, or, sometimes because of conservative, the better toilets, the better water.
So once we metered, 2002, somewhere in there, definitely, it took time, but you could see it drop. I mean, currently, our daily average is right on 70,000, where before we were metering, the daily average was 125,000 gallons. So,
It made quite a difference over the years.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the audit.
Make a motion to approve the audit?
Support.
Wilson.
Yes.
Lukasar.
Yes.
Lucas W.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Schneider.
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, it's a pleasure to work with you again.
We'll see you next year.
Yes, thank
No,
you.
I'm sure we'll talk to you in the interim.
Thank you.
Okay, Paul. Okay, can I have a motion to put the communications on file?
So moved.
Support.
Lukasar.
Yes.
Lucas W.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Schneider.
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes. Knights of Columbus, Tootsie Roll sales, and they scheduled them for October 9th, 10th, and 11th. I notice that's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I assume that's correct. And there's no one here from, no, there's not, okay. So I guess we'll approve it those days. I don't remember them doing it Sunday before, but maybe they did. Does anyone remember that?
Not really remembering us doing
No,
it.
I mean, it's on their flyer and it's also in the email.
Yeah, so it must be correct, so entertain a motion to approve the,
It doesn't have a time on it, though, either.
it doesn't have a time, but normally it's from about 8 to 5, so,
I'll make a motion to approve the Tootsie Roll sales for the Knights of Columbus.
I'll support that.
Lucas W.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Schneider. Stoops.
Yes.
Wilson.
yes.
Lukasar.
Yes.
Okay, unfinished business number 1 is the report from Jeff Kearns, our building inspector. This is one that we worked on extensively a few years ago. We weren't successful, and as you know, not having a mechanical inspector has been kind of a problem over the years. Jeff's been working on that, and apparently, and of course, if you refer to my memo here, the process of having a mechanical inspector has been simplified from a multi-page document to a couple of pages. Now, I did talk to Jeff again today on it, just to see if there's any changes, and he said, no, as far as he knows, this is all that's required. So I guess we'll, and what we have to do is approve a building board of appeals, and it's made up of the following occupations. And as the memo states, it's as an engineer, electrician, a plumber, a builder, and also a mechanical on the board. So I talked to him today, so if we approve, we have to approve the building board of appeals made up of the following people. And then I will sign the application, I'll send it back to him, and he'll forward it, and we'll see what happens. So I hope it's this simple. It sure wasn't before, but let's see what happens. So, no questions. I'd like to have you approve those people, and I'd like you to name them in your approval process.
I'll make a motion to appoint Phil Fort as engineer, Steve Postal, electrician, Steve Sullivan, plumber, Greg Janda, builder, and Mike Hopkins, mechanical, to the Board of Appeals.
Building board of appeals.
Building Board of Appeals.
Okay.
Support.
Davis,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Stoops,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Lukasar,
Yes.
LukasW.
Yes.
Okay, we'll sign that and submit it, we'll see what happens. BMJ Engineering, Boardman Road East and West. As you know, and recent memos I've given you, we're trying to get this reinstated, that grant money reinstated, and looks very encouraging. But we have to update the estimated of the cost, and BMJ's cost on that is $1,850. Now, Bart's attended a meeting or two, and our engineer has costed this out. Boardman East is what the grant we did have that we lost. This would be from M19 to the city limits, and the current estimated cost of that is $665,000. The city portion would be 20%, which is $133,000. So the grant would be $532,000. And that is the one that we want to get on the next period, and I believe that's from
2017
to 20, right?
to 2020.
Okay. Now, we also want to make them aware of Boardman West. And that was originally on the grant process back years ago for future. Now, the Bart and Phil have talked about this, and they did talk to me on it. We want to put that in a phase 1 and a phase 2, because they'll have to come under M19 and their extensive work under M19 and Boardman. So phase 1 would be from Boardman West, and it would be M19 to Henderson, and it's about 1,550 feet. The estimated cost on that is $582,000, and the city portion is 20%, which is $117,000, and the grant would be $465,000. And then phase 2 would go on later, and that of course would be from Henderson to the city limits, and that would be probably in a period after 2020. So I think and Bart's going to be attending a meeting on September 20th, correct?
30th.
Or, September 30th.
It's actually a technical
Yeah,
meeting.
and it's a technical meeting, right?
We just had to have this paperwork in by Thursday of this week,
of
so
this
that
week, yeah.
they could have it ahead of schedule.
Yeah, so I think what our intentions are is to try to get Boardman East in the first part of from 2017, probably try to get it in the first or second year, and then try to get Boardman West phase 1 in the late, maybe 2020. And kind of the reasons for delaying that is that we have to come up with 20% that, and the engineering is done basically on Boardman East, but Boardman West, there is some engineering, but not much, so we'd have to come up with that money. So we want a period of time and schedule it, and that's why phase 2 of the last part of Boardman West will go into the next period, because we've got to take and make sure that we can have the money, at that time. So that kind of brings you up to date in that, so tonight.
Our primary objective is we're going to get the east, because what could happen, just because we're putting it in it for 2017, it may not happen that year, it may not happen 18, 19, it may not be till 20. We're just hoping it happens somewhere, and that would obviously affect when we get started on Boardman West. The other thing is, this comes out of rural money, which is much less money is available each year. Rural money is $657,000 per year versus urban, which they get, I think it was 1.6 million. So the positive side of being rural, there's not that many people after that.
So anyway, but I think, see, we were scheduled to start that Boardman East back in 2013. And from what I understand, 18 people got knocked off.
18, that was including us.
Entities got knocked off, yeah. So anyway, I think we're putting it back into in the process. So and hopefully that we'll get back in, thrown in the hopper, and be able to do that. Because no way can we do that without that grant money at all. So hopefully this will start it, and we'll see what happens. So what I need tonight then is a motion to approve the BMJ engineering cost of $1,850.
I'll make that motion.
Or,
Parker,
yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Stoops,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Lucas R.
Yes.
Lucas W.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Okay, the new business, we have the Pro-America Bank and CSB Bank renewals are up for renewal again. And the little money we get, it's hardly worthwhile, but it's better than nothing. So there's two, for the Pro-America, there's a renewal of the $255,849.78. So I'd like the motion to approve that renewal.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Schneider,
Yes.
Stoops,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Lucas R.
Yes.
Lucas W.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
The next one is with the CSB Bank, and that is for $255,058. And I'd like the motion to renew that.
Motion to renew the CSD Bank CD.
Or,
Stoops,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Lucas R.
Yes.
Lucas W.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Parker.
yes.
Schneider.
Yes.
Okay, we have a budget amendment, number 1. This is just, these are for the grants, I believe the fire department grants, so it's just a budget amendment to make the necessary changes in that, so I need a motion to approve that.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Wilson,
Yes.
Lucas R.
Yes.
Lucas W.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Schneider.
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
Next is the fall burning dates, and resolution here, and have it from sunset from October 4th through November 15th. And I believe we don't burn on Halloween, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
It goes in.
October 4th to what?
October 4th to November 15th. 1 hour after sunset, let's see, what is it? During the hours of 1 hour before sunrise to 1 hour after sunset. And no burning on Halloween. May I have a motion to approve this resolution?
I'll make a motion we establish those dates for our open burning for yard waste from October 4th to November 15th. of 2015,
With the addition of October 31st.
and without Halloween burning.
Support.
Lukasar,
Yes.
LukasW,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Stokes,
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
I mean, you don't need permits,
Pardon?
you don't need a permit for that, those things?
That's what
Not,
it
not in
is.
city limits. It's only in the city limits.
No, I was, because we were trash out the Legion sometimes. Not trash, but
Yeah, yeah, you can
Garbage
burn,
waste,
yeah,
okay.
in those, during those periods, you can, yeah, okay. All right, the, Macomb County, amendment to the ordinance, this is only, St. Clair County, I think they come here and get their dog license, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, but in Macomb County, they have to go to Macomb County, and this is an amendment that they adopted, and they're just asking the municipalities also to adopt. So it's just a change and amendment to the original ordinance, so I just entertain a motion just to approve the resolution. Let's see, R15-140.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Lukasw,
yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Stokes,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Lukasar.
Yes.
Okay, from the mayor, Macomb County Day, the Charity Institute of Arts. They have, they'll leave the driving to us, it's Saturday, October the 10th, and they have the departure location times, Utica, 9:30 a.m., Warren at 10 a.m., St. Clair Shores at 10, Roseville at 10, East Point at 10:15, Memphis at 9:30, and that'll be at the Memphis Public Library. And I think, I know from Macomb County, you won't be charged to get in. I'm not sure about St. Clair County. You know anything on that?
Well, my driver's license, it doesn't say what county I live in, so I don't know how they're gonna determine what county you live
So
in.
maybe if you're on the bus, you,
But I think if you live in Memphis, I think you're probably okay.
yeah, no guarantees, but probably, okay. Okay, the next one I have is, this is from Richmond EMS in Richmond Middle School. It's a blood drive and, the mini gym on, in Richmond as well. And this will be Saturday, September the 19th, 9 a.m. to 2:45 p.m. And so that's for the blood drive and will be held at those locations. And you can contact Jeff White or, and then there's another phone number here too as well, but I'm sure you can call our offices and get that if you write down. Okay. Let's see what else I have here. Okay. This is a letter, and it's from Kenneth, or Mr. and Mrs. Kenneth Walsh. They live in Bell River Road. It's dated September the 15th. On Saturday, September the 5th, we called the police department about an incident that happened Friday night late. I would just like to let you know, the officer that responded in the AM as well as the one that responded in the PM were both very professional and courteous and all involved. I would like this known to you, as we usually hear about the department, is negative. We all appreciate them and their courtesy and professional attitude in this matter. So that's, so I don't know who they were, but.
We'll find out who they are, and I'll make sure that
Yeah.
that letter gets into their files.
Okay, all right. Okay, and that's all I have, and, anything?
Yeah, I don't really have much. I just want to say, I know there's for the high school homecoming this Friday night, there's a parade.
Oh, yes.
And the senior class is having a can food drive during the parade. They're picking cans up from people
Oh,
and passing things out in exchange for it. So if you go to the parade, take a can food.
okay.
I have nothing to swear.
Nothing?
Rick?
Nothing tonight.
Nothing.
Weird, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion then, we need a motion, I can't make motions.
So I'll make a motion that we go into executive session for union negotiation purposes.
Okay.
Or-
All right. Okay, we'll give a few minutes for people to, and we'll go into executive session.
Did you guys read this?